Have you ever thought how if the water hyacinths that you usually find in the river turns out into a healthy biscuit that we can eat in daily? Worry not because we have realized your thought. Introducing TERCIBIS. TERCIBIS is an abbreviation from Healthy Water Hyacinth Biscuit. So it's basically a biscuit that made up from water hyacinths that you usually find in the river. Why it has to be water hyacinths and what is the purpose of these innovations? Let's take a look deeper. So these are the description of our product. TERCIBIS is a healthy biscuit made from water hyacinths and betel leaf extract that can be an alternative snack for people with diabetes or to prevent diabetes itself. So basically there are two main ingredients to make this biscuit. The first is water hyacinths and the second is betel leaf extract. And what is the background of these innovations? So these are the three main reasons why do we finally create this biscuit. The first is because of the high number of diabetes. According to International Diabetes Federations, in 2021 there are 19 million people ranged from 20 to 79 years old with diabetes in Indonesia, and this number will be increased by 2045. As we can see in the graphic where the y-axis is the number of people with diabetes and also the x-axis is the years itself, we can see that by years, the graphics is increases, means that the number of the people with diabetes in each year is increases. And the second is the growth risk of infections. According to the Association for Professional in Infection Control and Epidemiology, people with diabetes are riskier to have infections due to the high level of blood sugar, which weaken their immune system. So virus and also bacteria more likely to infect the people with the diabetes, which is why we finally create this biscuit. And the third reason is the water hyacinth potency. The availability of water hyacinths in Indonesia, moreover in Palembang, which is the one of the city in Indonesia, is very high. And also not only that, not only for the availability itself, the high potency of the water hyacinth itself to be healthy snacks for diet is high. As we can see for in the table, in the nutrient table, the crude protein in the water hyacinth leaf is quite high. And the concentration is 56.38%, followed by the carbohydrates in the number of 33.661%. This is the very high number of protein and also carbohydrate itself. So we see that water hyacinths have the potency to be the diet snacks, moreover, for people with the diabetes. And next is, these are the tools and also the materials that we needed to create the biscuits. We have the ovens, knives, nail, blender, basins, plate, and spoon. And for the ingredients itself, we had eggs, sugar, water hyacinths, betel leaves, wheat flour, baking powder, butter, and also salt. What is the method of the creations of the biscuit itself? The very first step is we formulate the ratios between the water hyacinth leaf mixed with betel extract and also the wheat flour. Basically, we have four samples, A1, A2, A3, and also A4, which is A1 we set as the control sample, which doesn't contain any water hyacinth leaf and also betel extract now. We only put the wheat flour in number of 50 grams, and the ratios between the wheat flour and also water hyacinth leaf and betel extract now is 0/5. To decide the best formulations among those three, the sensory test was conducted on 30 trained panelists. The purpose of sensory test itself is to measure the acceptance of a product by using the human senses. The parameter of the sensor quality used in the study are color, texture, taste, and also aroma. The method or the research stage will be explained in the next. Well, after conducting the research stage, we finally formulate the other ingredients too. We also formulate the sugar, butter, baking soda, and also yeast for this table of comparison. So, and the result is These are the average score of sensory test result. So, like what I said before, the parameter of this test is our color, texture, taste, and also aroma. And we have tested the product on 30 finalists to conduct the sensory testing. And these are the results. So why do we choose A2 as the selected sample? We have considered some factors to decide the selected sample. For example, for the color, for the texture, for example, whether it's smooth or not, and also the taste. And the last is for the aroma. So the sample that have better taste, better texture, so this aroma and color is A2 sample, which is become the selected sample in this research. And these are the comparison when we test the sensory test for the on the panelists, which range of score is 1 means very dislike, 2 means dislike, 3 means fear, 4 means like, and also 5 means very light. And as we can see in the table, for the color, selected sample is quite high from the control sample, means that selected sample or A2 have the better color than the control sample itself, which doesn't contain any better leaf extract and also better hyacinth. And for the texture itself, the selected sample is 3.5, is a bit lower than the control sample, which is 3.8. And also for the taste, control sample have quite a bit high score. The selected sample have a bit high score, which is 4.25, rather than the control sample, which is only 4.1. And also for the aroma, the control sample have a bit higher number, which is 4.3. Meanwhile, the selected sample is 4.15. So what can we conclude from this table is the selected sample or A2 have the better color and also have the better taste from control sample itself. And even if the selected sample have a lower number of score in the texture and also aroma, but still the gap between the score is not very high, means that the selected sample or A2 is properly being accepted by the panelists that have been through the sensory test. And the next is we arrive at the conclusion. So the conclusion of this research is the high demand for snacking in Indonesia can make water hyacinth an innovative raw material for healthy snack based on some consideration that we have stated in earlier. This biscuit can be an alternative snack for diabetics, considering the high number of diabetics in Indonesia. And also, the utilizations of water hyacinth processing can also reduce the problem of water damage. Meanwhile, the water hyacinth itself is considered as the water waste. Based on the result of the sensory evaluation test, the best product formulations is the second sample, which is A2, with the ratio of water hyacinth leaf power and with power, namely 1/4. The formulation sample 2 or A2 is preferred and more acceptable by consumer because of its color green texture, less intense aroma, and sweet and savory taste compared to other formulations. So, which is we arrive at the conclusion as is the best formulations of this product is sample 2, which is A2. And that's all. That's all the explanation of our product. Thank you.